Hello, 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 everyone. Back again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the 28th, and I'm going to go ahead and publish it as well. Since I kind of seeing what's going on here. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And like I said, this will be part of the overnight hours after midnight tonight on Friday. Or I'm sorry, Saturday, going into Sunday. Remember, day runs from the time sunrise comes up to the next sunrise, 24 hours. Excuse me. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump on over into the astrology. I'll go ahead and make this big where I can see it. Don't have to strain my eyes too bad. Okay. As you can see right here on the chart, what I have is Venus in Capricorn. You can see it right here, okay? It's 6 degrees. No minutes in, just hit 6 degrees. And it is in a sextile to Saturn, which Saturn is still ruling the day. After midnight. This is at 1:03 in the morning, so Saturn's still ruling this day until the sun comes up, which will not be until between this 6 and 9 in the morning. And then the sun will take over and rule the day. All right, so we got that clear. So we're going to be dealing with these overnight hours of what's going on. Now, again, I will say these are my time, Eastern Standard Time. You will need to adjust yours accordingly for the area you're in. Let's say you're on the West Coast, so this would be 3 hours behind me, which would make it around 11:03. So it's just going to be in different areas, so you're just going to have to adjust to that time, to your time accordingly. All right. Like I said, we got Venus here at 6 degrees, Saturn at 6 degrees as well. Both of them. Look at it. And they're sextiling here. Remember, sextiles are about activating the mind. And you have to activate it for it to work. You have to think. Because this is dealing with Venus. You're going to open up your heart to something here where there may be some limitations. That's why I titled this video, Don't Give Into Temptation. Activate your mind. Awaken your thoughts. Don't let your heart, and you opening up your heart to something here, you're not ready to open your heart to. Okay? Because there is going to be some sort of temptations that's going on. And we're going to talk about the transits that this is causing. Or not the transits, but the aspects that is this sextile is creating between Venus and Saturn. All right, because the night is being ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is saying, and Mercury is in a square to the North Node, as well as the South Node. So don't be driven by lust here. Don't be driven by that natural desire of something here. You got to have the courage to take and the ability to take the action. Just don't go through being driven aggressively to go towards something. Because you may very well regret it. The sign shows how you're out, shows how you go out after values to survive in some way. For survival reasons. So I'm just gonna say, don't fall into temptation here. It's very easy to be susceptible to fall into something here. Okay? Don't give in to something of the past. Don't follow, especially like I said in the previous video, A lot of this stuff is going toward the four corners. Not so much with Cancer anymore because the midheaven's not there anymore, but there is something here where habits. You may fall into a natural habit of doing something and being misled because of the cardinal signs of Aries and Libra, or just to be with somebody, or Capricorn, because you can ruin your reputation. You can ruin something about what you're trying to create here that you're struggling to create, because there could be an illusion here. You're just trying to maybe survive in every day. So if you open your heart up to the wrong person or the wrong situation or the wrong belief system, you're going to suffer the consequences of it. So don't give in to some sort of temptation that's going on. So let's look at the event or the aspect configurations that Venus being in this sextile with Saturn, that is going to create something here. All right? So let's look at the aspects here. The aspects that are happening here is the sail. First thing again. Remember, it's usually called a sail or a kite. And where it is this foundation here is set with the moon. What your heart feels. All right? Now, the moon is in opposition to Saturn. So there's some opposing energies here. You're doing something here where there's sort of a tug of war back and forth, because there's opposing something here. So that's what I'm saying again. Don't fall into a temptation, people. Please, don't go along with this. Resist it with all your might. And I'll explain why in just a minute on this. And what we have is with Venus and Jupiter. This is the trine, okay, of the trine here, between these energies. Men, I want to say be careful. Don't fall into lust. Telling you right now, don't do it. Because if you try to limit something here, it can be very, very difficult, because you may be dealing with women that are just wanting someone to take care of them. They're just wanting somebody to persuade. Activate your mind. They're just maybe wanting to get in a relationship and getting you to just follow them along. They might be putting on an act here, because with this right here, opposition, you better be very cautious. The next thing we have that's creating this, gotta get my cursor up here, is this other sail that we have going on. Now, look at the two sails. Remember, the moon's going to Saturn? Now, all of a sudden, Jupiter, if you don't want a relationship, something here is coming up. Somebody may try and make you jealous. Somebody might be using sexual temptation to get you into something. Because there's an opposition here from Jupiter that says, don't go for this. Don't go for this. Don't fall in the trap, because I'm telling you, you're going to be tempted. You are definitely going to be tempted to fall for something that is not real. There could be an illusion here. Now, if it didn't have the opposition here, I would say something here is good. But if you're opposing it, then you better make that perfectly clear. Look here, I'm not out to get involved in no relationships. If you're going out for lust, You better make sure you wear a condom. I'm just going to be, women, you better protect yourself as well. On both sides of this equation. Because we're talking about Taurus here, and we're talking about Scorpio. You know, you better be upfront and honest with somebody. If you're not interested in expanding or growing in this relationship, or really, you know, having it move forward, and, you know, something here, you better stop and think about what you're moving toward. Because something here may very well be hidden that you don't see what's about to happen. I'm talking about on both sides. Because the next thing we have here, like I said, take a good look at these, how it flips. You know, it's almost like there's a wanting lust going on here. Don't let yourself be tempted here, because we got the mystical rectangle. What is the mystical rectangle? It's also known as Satan's rectangle. It's luring you in, trying to lure you in to something here. Oh, just go along with it. You know, don't let yourself get caught up into this. This is also known as Satan's rectangle. And it's dealing with the It's dealing with the ascending that is trying Saturn. You better keep your limits, and you better be up front. Just don't go along with something here. Also with Jupiter, as well to the moon, because I got a feeling here, the lure, these four corners, to survive something here. Somebody's looking for maybe a relationship, or they're presenting an illusion, but yet it's not really what you think it is, and it may not meet your goals. Don't just go along with the program, because you're gonna fall into a trap here. Don't get too comfortable in this, because look at the T squares we got going here. Because we got Jupiter in an opposition to this, and we got the moon in opposition to this. So there's oppositions here between something here about values, you know, and sexuality, because Scorpio is like that sort of sexual lure temptation. And if you're not interested in getting in a relationship, then you better be upfront and honest, and you better tell them, look, I'd like to go home with you or whatever, but I don't want to get involved with nobody. You better be authentic about this, because if you're not, you're going to pay for something here later. Could be somebody out just to use somebody for money. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to be upfront and honest with you about it. Because when we're talking about Venus here, she can be very alluring. A man, mostly, likely, can be very, handsome or whatever. But his intentions may not be what's really what you think that they're putting on. So women, you better be careful, and men, you better be careful. Because Venus is out to get what she wants. And if it's for a good time, you may end up paying the price in other ways. Don't fall into this trap. Because this is like creatures of habit. You know, when we're talking about Taurus, you know, somebody being very stable, very uh, solid. And then we're talking about Scorpio, another one, a fixed energy. Taurus and Scorpio are very fixed energies. Whereas Virgo, where the moon sets and Saturn sets, we're talking about two survival. So could it be that somebody's using somebody just to survive? And if that's all they're interested in is finding somebody to keep them up, they're going to use every allure or attraction that they can use to draw you in. That's why that mystical rectangle is called Satan's rectangle. It's the power of persuasion of sexuality using Scorpio to draw you in. I'm just saying. Because the next thing we have here is we have the T-square with this sun. And I feel like, you know, some of you may, because we're looking at the sun here with Venus and Venus. So be cautious because there is a square here. Focusing on the purpose. What is the real reason behind all this? The opposition here. You just want a relationship to have a relationship or what? I mean, it's like something here is definitely coming up at this time. That you better be questioning. The real reason here. And then there's this thing with the past. You know, the South Node is known as the body, the action. It's a character trait or something here. And it's, you remember, Libra is a cardinal sign. Something here, over here, is not healthy. And Aries is a cardinal. Somebody's being very aggressive with Mars. It's a warning. I'm telling you, it's a warning I'm seeing here. And again, with Mars, you're being warned to open your mind, to activate your mind. Remember, I said the first thing I started out with was Venus in Capricorn, sextiling Saturn. Activating the mind and knowing not to go against the rules of society. Don't fall into a trap here or into temptation. Whether it be in a man's, because it goes back to a verse in Timothy, 2 Timothy chapter 3, that men will use women to lure them in to get what they want. And then they're going to dump you. And if you go along with it in this grand trying, you're setting yourself up for something that's not real. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. So guys, if you're looking at a woman and she's really coming on to you hard and heavy, you better wonder about this. What's the motive here? Because the next thing we have is a trapezoid. Boom. See what I'm saying? Somebody here went along with something because of what they were feeling. They thought, oh, this is what's going to heal me. I'm going to work at this, you know. I'm going to work it hard. And then we have the trine with Saturn. Somebody ain't going to put no work in this. It's just a whatever. Again, the ascending. Over here to Venus, sextile. Somebody's trying to get something here. I mean, this could even be somebody just out getting somebody trying to buy them drinks. And then all of a sudden, if you're a guy sitting in a bar or whatever, and you're just feeding this Venus energy, giving into it and giving into it. Next thing you know, you wake up next morning, you're dead broke. They weren't really interested anyway. They just wanted somebody to buy their drinks. So you were real comfortable in doing this. And now all of a sudden, the next morning, you're realizing with this opposition to Saturn, man, I should have really limited myself to what I was doing here. Because it goes, and again, trapezoid with the Venus. If you get with somebody, you could easily very well knock them up. I want to tell you that. And you might be paying for it for a long time. I'm telling you, watch your steps, people. All right, let's go back over to what's happening next. At 2:20 in the morning. Now, this is a little over an hour later, okay? Let's put this in motion. We got the moon in Virgo, midheaven's there, and it's 2:20 a.m. All right? Who got successful here? Who just went along with this? And the aspects with this moon, with the opposition, Saturn was saying, hey, we got the sale there. Don't do it. Again, we got the double sale. The bar's closing. What you gonna do here? You better take your butt onto your house and go to bed's what you better do. Because the sun here is in a quincunx, and I'll talk about this in a bit, but it's in a quincunx with the moon. It's like a warning. These energies are not mixing. They're not adjusting well. The adjustments need to be made here. People need to realize, don't go fall in bed with somebody that you just met. Because you don't know what you're going to pick up. You don't know what you're going to get. I could even say this in a queer. Oh, what I was thinking. A career is what I was trying to say. Not queer, career. This could even be in a career. Somebody could be offering you an opportunity. This could be somewhere you could get entrapped into something here, like, somebody saying, well, you meet them somewhere and it's late, and, I can get you into modeling, I can get you into this and that, I can, offer you this. Don't let your emotions overrule your better judgment, your desire for some success. You cannot get to the top by sleeping your way there. We found this out with going on with the DAs in Georgia. They're getting caught up in their own little web or their own trapezoid that they created. Okay? What's done in the dark will be revealed in the light. So don't get yourself, again, I keep stressing this, and it keeps showing itself, rearing its ugly little head. You better think before you act. What is the challenge here? What is the driven motivation here? Women, if a man is approaching you, what is his driven motivation? Is it to have a relationship? To expand or grow? Is he really, really interested? Or what is the ulterior motive here? It's like that old song that was sung so many years ago, where the mother is telling the son, take time to get to know her. It's not an overnight thing. Mothers, warn your sons about this. Mothers, warn your daughters about this. It could be just an overnight thing, because we have the grand trine here to the moon and to the midheaven. Right now is an important time in your life. At this moment, you can make the right decision or the wrong decision. You can follow your heart, which you may have to deal with later, the consequences. Hey, you got used for a night. I'm going to be blunt honest with you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't put those up. I meant to. Got to catch myself here. But I showed you the grand scales. I mean, I showed it all to you. So I'm sorry, but I'll have to make sure I really do that. Okay. Now let's go over to what the next thing is here. Here's the moon now in a trine with Venus. And we're talking about 2:28 in the morning. Who got satisfied? Who got what they wanted? Wham bam, thank you ma'am. But look at the energies. There's something here of a past actions where somebody is leading somebody into something of temptation. And again, it brings back the same thing. Double cells, T-square, grand trine. Are you going to follow this? Are you going to regret this tomorrow? Are you going to think there's something going on here that really there's not? Now, at 4:10 in the morning, let me show you what the events are taking place on this. Again, we've got, let me go back here. Again, we've got the moon in Virgo, okay? It's trine Jupiter in Taurus. Expansion, growth. This is all Earth. You think something's real here. When, if it's real, then why is there limits and restrictions? Why is there an opposition here? Why is somebody saying, oh yeah, babe, yeah, I'll go home with you. Yeah, let me go home with you. Or you come home with me or whatever. And all of a sudden, something here just is not right. You think, oh, I'm going to put work into this, or they're going to work on this. Look at this. 666. Does this tell you something? Who's playing devil's advocate here? Somebody's going to change on you on a dime. Don't fall for it. It's an illusion. It is not real. It's only whatever's going on here is only somebody seeking something that they want. An entrapment. Now, there's something interesting that's happening here with this. Okay? So let's go to the aspects on this, and let me show you something here, what's happening. Again, the sale. All right? With the opposition to Saturn, like I said, when the opposition is here, there's a problem. There's a tug of war. You want one thing, they're wanting something else. Maybe the woman's wanting the relationship. Maybe the guy says, nah, I just want the night. Okay? Maybe you want the job, but maybe it's not really what the job is, what you think it is. Be careful what you go along with. Because very well, it's probably not real. Because there's limitations and restrictions. What did I say? 666. Look, 4, Jupiter, 6, Moon, 6, Venus, 6, Saturn, 6. What does this tell you? Somebody's only thinking about themselves. That's all they're thinking about. I remember my days when I used to go out with the girls and what happened. But you know what? Give me your number, I'll call you later. Or I'll give you my number, you call me later. You know, get their number. Then you can decide whether to call or not. Get to know somebody. That is the biggest thing that a lot of these millennials don't understand. You know, jumping from bed to bed, relationship to relationship, you know. Oh, it didn't work out. Oh, he just came and he didn't drop me, and or she took my money and she left, and you know, she just, she's a gold digger. She's looking for somebody to keep her up, blah blah. I'm telling you, because we got these T-squares that says you better stop and think, because something here is not healthy for you. And if you just go along with it, guess what? We got the yod. We have the yod. And what is the yod or yod is called? The finger of God. That says, darling, child of mine, open your mind, think. I'm giving you something here about somebody. If you're feeling some sort of conflict here, that something just ain't right about this person, whatever they're seeking or you're seeking is not right for you. There will be a sudden change that will take place because their actions, their past actions, is not what you seek. And time is going to show it. The past will come up. They may eventually tell you later on, well, wasn't really seeking a relationship. Oh, or I'm not getting with nobody. Or whatever those lines are that are used today. I mean, I'm using this for both men and women. I don't look at just one sex. Now, I know people think there's multiple sex, them, they, it, whatever. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, there are males and there are females, and it's an old thing that has happened for years. It's just getting more sneaky. Okay? That's the only thing. It's just getting more sneaky. If you don't know this person, do not. Because the quincunx is saying there will be a sudden change. This energy of something is building up here. Whoever you're dealing with that has to do with this South Node that you think you're going to get in a partnership with or a relationship with, they're going to limit, they're going to restrict. They're not going to want your feelings. They may not want to be in love with nobody. They have maybe a hidden agenda here. It's a cycle they go through. A persuasion illusion. I'm telling you, Satan is at his strongest. Now, let's go back over to the pool event. Event pool is what this is really called, an event pool. Now, at 6 a.m., 2023 Eastern Standard Time, we have the sun in Aquarius at 7 degrees. Divine's been trying to warn you about something. He's trying to point something out to you to say, hey, you need to see this. The sun is in a quincunx with the moon in Virgo at 8 degrees. There's something about your life. Something about this moon where there's this opposition to Saturn with the quincunx, that these energies. Remember, air don't mix with earth. There's a storm brewing here. I saw a tarot reading not too long ago where there was something about a storm coming. And you need to be careful. You need to be careful. Very cautious. Because with this sun in this quincunx to the moon, there's something in your life. There shows you got to make a good judgment here. And you got to have, this involves in having the courage to stand up and say, no, I don't think so. You know, I don't think, I don't think I'll go home with you. Or I don't think I'll take your card. Whatever. You better start checking into people's backgrounds. Google search them. I mean, y'all love to Google search nowadays. You might find out some interesting stuff that might come up, that might shock you into waking you up about somebody. You might find out they've got a long history, criminal history, or debt. I wouldn't go out in a bar nowadays for nothing. All right, but let's look at the events that's going to happen from this, okay? From this quincunx with the sun and the moon, the two luminaries. Because remember, the moon is what you can't see, what you didn't see, or what can't be seen. But the sun is going to illuminate something here. That there's limits and there's restrictions and there's a storm brewing here. So let's look at the aspects that's going to happen from this. There you go. There's your cells again. Moon to Saturn, still that limit. Boom, back over to the midheaven. Remember, it went to the ascending was over here. Now it's the midheaven. You're at this point where there's an opposition. I just want piece out. Somebody just wanted to go get nasty and boogie woogie down. They really weren't interested in a relationship. Now there's conflict going on here. Something is being revealed about somebody's life. And it may shock you. Because then we have the mystic rectangle again. Opposition. What is oppositions? Oppositions are struggles in our life. You got trapezoids here. What does trapezoids do? Don't get comfortable in something here at this moment in time. Because we got a 4 T-squares showing up here with a grand trine. Oh, just, yeah, it could be a smooth talker. just expressing my heart. Yeah, really? You better wonder if they've got a heart, or what kind of heart they have. Is it self-interest? You got to ask yourself these questions, because this trapezoid is not something you really want to fall into. It says, hey, you better think before you leap and jump into something here. What is the motive here? What is the limits? What is the restrictions? What is really this opposition? Why is emotions limited here? I mean, I'm just curious. I am really, really curious why you would just go along with something. Because of what? Looks? Looks ain't everything. Don't you know that people have diseases, could be some of the best looking people in the world? You better ask for a green card. Well, that's another different meaning nowadays. But then we have two of them. Why is this Venus energy? Because somebody's limiting their capacity to love here. I'm telling you, I'm seeing it. When it comes to Saturn, Saturn is restrictions. You have to operate within some limits here. Responsibility and rules. It's about fears and obstruction of those limitations. Learn something here, please. If it's an opposition, it's not good. Don't get comfortable in this. They don't put the word trap in there for no reason. It's a trap to avoid something. Zoid. I mean, it's up to you. Because then the next thing we have that's going on here is Mars in Capricorn squaring the North Node. Wow, really? Really? I told you. Somebody got what they wanted. Look at the quincunx pumping up. Something here. And I guarantee you, if you think about the conversation you might have had with somebody, there was probably some warning signs there. And we're talking about the yod. Don't tell me Divine wasn't trying to show something here about somebody's past actions. I mean, it's like, how can there be success when the energies don't align? Is this the brush off in the morning? Is that what this is? Oh, I'm sorry. Should have brought that up. I keep forgetting to switch over. Because remember, if you go for it in this cell, you better go into this openly knowing there's an opposition here. Somebody's not working within in the lanes of the limitations. They're working it. They're probably feeding to you everything you want to hear. And all along, there's these squares. Hey, you should have thought before you acted here. What I'm telling you, you got to activate the mind. That's what Sextel's all about. If you want success in something, you need to activate your mind. You need to put it to work. You got to have this mental attitude, alertness. Because then we have the T-squares. Something here is not healthy about somebody. There's challenges, limitations, restrictions. They're after something here. They're seeking something here. 18. 18 is two things. They're either wanting to put somebody in some type of bondage, or this person is just out for their freedom. They don't want any bondage. They want to break those bondages. They don't want commitments. They're not responsible. Because they have here an illusion they're presenting. They're feeding you something the next morning. Oh yeah, we can get together later. But I've gotta focus on my purpose. I gotta focus on my job. I got to go this and that. It was nice. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Whole time, it's all a lie. This cycle's already over with. It's done. They were seeking what they wanted. They went after it, and they presented an illusion to get you to go with it. That is what Satan does. That's why it's called the mystical rectangle, the illusion of something, to get you caught into it. And you've got to be smart to not fall in it, not to go along with something here. Venus can be very, very potent. She can put on the illusion. Don't fall for it. You don't know what you're getting yourself into, because there is the yod that says you should have activated your mental capacity and thought about what you were jumping into. Because now, all of a sudden, there is this thing with Uranus stationary, building up this energy. Both of these are quincunxes, which God has been pointing his finger at this person's actions in the past. They're just choosing their own life. They're trying to get people to follow them. There's a good thing of Battle of the Gods by Jonathan Cahn that you really need to see it. About Venus. She comes under very many different names. Ooh, is it pouring rain here now? And it's coming down heavy. That's okay. I can live with it. Heaven crying its tears. That's what I think about every time it pours rain like that. Heaven's crying its tears. And I'm talking about a yod right now. I mean, there is like a sudden change. Pisces is about caring. We care about something. We believe something. Be cautious who you care about or give that care to, because this person can change on a dime and not be who you think they are. Let's go back over to the event pool. The next thing we have is we have Mercury in Capricorn still, trine Uranus. Which makes me believe, whoa, God, I just saw this. Jeez. wait till you see this event that's transpiring here. I'm telling you, I'm trying to get y'all to wake up here and see something here. At 19 degrees, this is like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, let's see, yeah, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This, from 9 o'clock, whatever it was, you left, you know, had a nice night, whatever. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you still ain't heard nothing from this person. I'm telling you. Because look what the aspects are showing here for this event pool of Mercury in Capricorn, trying on this Uranus. Because you went along with something that you shouldn't have went along with. Now look at this. T square. With an opposition. T square. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one, didn't I? T square there. Cardinal signs. The ascending is there. You got led into something. Look at there. Ooh, X marks the spot. Opposition. Well, I'm sorry if your feelings are hurt. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. But I'm not really looking for a relationship. I didn't mean to hurt, I'm not out to hurt nobody's feelings. Bullshit. Bullshit. I call bullshit. This is bullshit game. You see these T-squares? The 4 corners? Look at it. Cardinal signs. With an opposition between something here. Emotional security, financial security. And again, another T-square. There's like a conversation going on here, back and forth. Well, I can't support nobody. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, And then we got the sales. Look at that. Look what is sitting there. There's not even a trine here. It's just a trine here. All of a sudden change in this person and their emotions with an opposition. What the hell were you thinking? You didn't see this coming? Really? You moved right into it. Again, with Mars, you didn't thought you fell for a line here? And again with the moon. You thought, oh well, I thought, we could, we could, get together, and wrong. Telling you. And then look at all the T-squares. Back we go again. I mean, this is like going on and on and on. You're getting yourself into something here that you're not realizing what you're getting yourself into. And it's just back and forth, back and forth. This is like a conflict that you see. A battle you're not going to win with somebody. They're not going to give you what you want. They have their own agenda. Oh, but it was nice meeting you. Oh, we had a good time. But it's not real. Do you follow me, folks? This is not real. Somebody's doing something here just to get what they want. And if you fell and led into that temptation, I feel for you. You got to wise up. You got to be smart. Now we have Venus in Capricorn, trine Jupiter in Taurus. Who's chasing who now? I mean, look at the event pool. I mean, this is 6. Again, what is somebody feeding you? Again, they're telling you. They may be filling you with a line of BS a mile long. But I've got to work, or, I don't know. They're brushing you off. And this is something that they're trying to do in probably a very Gentile way, but exactly what they're doing, you may think, oh, well, he likes me, or, she's being kind, and, we get together maybe later, she says, or he says, she says, be shit. Okay? And the whole time, it's back and forth again. They're telling you something they're not going to do. They've changed the rules of the game. Again, 6, 6, 6. If this is not Satan at his finest here, and I'm point and blank giving it to you, I'm telling you, the beast is out there. Guys, you better watch out. Know who you're with. Know what you're dealing with. You know what? You can't. This is my old attitude from a motherly figure or a person of wisdom. If I go out to a bar and say I meet someone, right? Say I don't go home with them. Let's just say I'm, take their number, we have conversations or whatever, all right? Then all of a sudden I find out this person does a lot of drinking. Maybe they do a lot of drugs. Maybe they're into bondage and all this other stuff, okay? Why would I ever think that if I go into a bar and the guy is sitting in there drinking, and then all of a sudden later on in the relationship, I don't particularly like alcohol. I just don't have no use for it. I like I said before, I get high on life. I don't get high on drugs. I don't get high on liquor. I mean, I get high on life. Nature gives me a high. Exploring life gives me a high. That's this stuff here, substance and all that stuff out there is not for me. It means nothing to me because it distorts reality. And I don't want my reality distorted. If I see trouble coming, I want to see it coming, right? I want to face it head on. So if I meet someone in a bar and they got a drinking problem, well, duh, you met them in a bar and you think you're going to change them. Wrong. On a Friday or a Saturday night, there's one thing, if you go into a place, say a bar or a supper club or something like that in the middle of the day, and a person's having a beer or something like that or a cocktail, all right, they're more or less maybe somewhat of a social drinker. They might have a drink when they eat. They may have a glass of wine. That doesn't mean they're an alcoholic. So, really, you guys got to think. But if you're going out on a Friday night and a Saturday night, and you're going home, or somebody's trying to talk you into going home, that is a booty call, guys. That is one thing and one thing only. That is not a conductive for a relationship. And if people go into this thing thinking they can change someone, next thing you know, you've wasted years of your life thinking you could change someone that you're not going to be able to change. Because they have these fixed habits. They're just going to fall right into everything. Let's go back to the day pool, the event pool. Now we have the moon. This is late in the evening. Remember, this is where the day starts, with the sun bringing something to the light that was done in the dark. All this time here is darkness. Ooh. Can you see that? All this here, well, shoot, it's not showing it. Okay. Is it showing it now? No. It's thundering outside. All this is done. Oh, because I'm in the wrong window. No wonder I can't see it. All this is done here from 1:03 in the morning to 6:23. All this was done in the dark. But now that the sun is ruling the day, guess what? Something's changed here. You're dealing with somebody that is one way in the night and a different way in the day. They have something of a personality disorder. Because I showed you the aspects that are going on here in the chart of what's going on. This is like for the collective, for everybody. I'm showing you something that there's evil out there. And there's a warning coming on this for you to wake up and realize it. Then we're talking about from 9 in the morning, 9:20 in the morning, when Mars kicks in at the 14th hour. And it goes all the way to the moon here at the final hour of what I'm showing you. Sorry. That I'm showing you here. Of this moon in Virgo. Let's see it. What's the last thing I have here? Venus and Capricorn. Yeah. With the trine to the moon, or Jupiter, and then over to the moon. Yeah. This is showing about, 9 o'clock? All right, then we're looking at 10:30, okay, on the Eastern time. I've got so much going on here. Look at all these quincunxes now. Do you see what's happening that's going on here? I'm going to switch it over to the event pool to the aspect configurations on these, of what this is creating. And we're talking about at 10:30 at night. The day's over with. Sun's done set. But we're going to be going into the overnight hours. Again. And we're starting out with this moon in a quincunx to what, Chiron? Well, I'm sorry if your feelings are hurt. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Believe you me, they're not out to heal your feelings. Also, we have Jupiter in the quincunx to the ascending. Saturn in this quincunx to the south node, which, like I said, is going to be there for a while. And something was trying to show you something. The sun was bringing something up to light. Because remember, I said we had a yod here. Now let's go over to the aspects and see them. And actually see what's going on. Look there, T-square. Again. Challenge. Blockages. Opposition. Again. South node. Mars. Aggressive. Well, I'm sorry your feelings got hurt. You didn't have to come home with me. You know, you could have made your choice. Grand Tryon. Oh, but, really, I thought, well, maybe you shouldn't have thought you had something going on here. I thought we had something in common last night. Blah, 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 blah. Really? No, I don't think so. And then we had the yod. Again, the finger of God that tried to show you something here, to activate your mind and show you something about something that wasn't right. What is ascending? Remember? 6, 6. Storm brewing. And the ascending at 7. Divine energy. I told you you needed to activate your thoughts. Now the energies. Quincunxes. You got to have the courage now to make a decision. Ooh. Got a storm, nasty storm coming here. Now, also it's pointing out the trapezoid. Don't get comfortable in this. Do not get comfortable in this. Even though there's a trine here between Venus and there's a trine here with these two. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a trine here with Saturn over to the midheaven. They want to make you feel good. They want to make you feel comfortable. But there's an opposition. You don't feel comfortable. You feel like, I got used. You should have seen it coming. You got probably every warning sign there was that God was pointing his finger at something and telling you to watch. Look. Look at what is being offered here. God will show us signs. Did you not hear? Did you not see something? Yes, the doors are there. You might think it's an opportunity, but who opened that door? Remember the mystical rectangles? Satan opened it. The gate of hell is like opening up, and people are not seeing it. If you're going and living the wrong kind of life, you're going to get the evil part of it. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of who you're around, who you're talking to. Don't just go out with somebody, go home with them because they look good. Do a background check on this person. Because I'm trying to save you, or you will spare yourself a lot of heartache in the future and a lot of wasted time of your life on somebody that was only out to use you anyway. So it's your choice. It's your choice. But let me tell you something. When you're dealing with some people, they're not going to change. They are not going to change. These people have certain beliefs. They have certain ideals. They have certain values. and they may not match with yours. So I'm really concerned about things, but it's like, they could easily put the blame back on you. I didn't ask you, nobody made you go home with me. You chose to do that. See what I mean? They lay the blame somewhere else. They got what they wanted, and that was it. And all of a sudden, you're feeling hurt. Oh, that's, you weren't talking like that last night. Well, then alcohol was talking, okay? I mean, come on, people. Really, wake up to what you're seeing here. Uh-oh, my weather alert's going off. So, anyway, I wanted to go ahead and do this and put this out because I feel like it's really important to see what is happening here. And really, it's about expectations. The opposition of expectation, what a woman expects or what her expectations are versus what a man's is. And I'm warning both sides. I'm warning both people, men and women. Be cautious what you're getting or walking into. Because there is evil out there, and it is very, very, very strong right now. And it is going to get worse. This is a year of when really we're going to see things that's going to be brought out, and people are going to be like, wow. There's a revelation that's happening. People are being brought up and seeing things that they would have never thought they would see. I know I've been seeing them. And I just assume really not be out in society. I've been seeing it. For 7 years, I've been seeing stuff that's going bad. And I would have never thought in a million years I would see people do the things they do. Nor would I think the people that I love would do things that they've done. But boy, was my expectations was really wrong. So that's why I really want to caution everybody. Be careful. You can see for the quincunxes that are sitting there. There's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count them for yourself. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not a good sign. There's a shift happening. So, I only do this because I care. And I don't want to see people getting involved and really having their lives so messed up when they don't have to. They don't have to. And if it just proves the point, Satan is out there. And it may not look like what you think it looks like. And it may not. What you expected Satan to be like ain't like that. Satan looks like something good. You know what I mean? But it's an illusion. It's not real. Just to draw you in. So, I only want to see people do good things and be healthy and have a good life. So, there you go. Thanks for joining me. See y'all on the next one. Take care. And I wish everyone the best. And please have a safe weekend. All right? Bye for now.